NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, presents Aeronautics and Space Report.
Jumping off a 35-foot tower is all part of the job for these astronauts at the Life Support School near Sherman, Texas. Recently, 16 future space pilots went through rigorous parachute training exercises. The course was conducted to teach the astronauts the best emergency procedures when ejecting from a high-speed aircraft. There were sessions on the proper way to fall when hitting the ground at various angles, and how to use a tree let-down device while dangling from a parachute harness. To find out how a parachute handles on the ground during a stiff wind, the men were pulled along by a parachute billowed out from the blast of a giant wind-producing machine. Required also wet landing practice. Here the men jumped from a platform mounted on a moving boat. Each man was then dragged through the water, either on his back or face down, until able to free himself with the parachute release. Later, on shore, each of the astronauts donned a parachute-like parasail and was towed aloft some 400 feet by a powerboat. After hitting the water, they were then required to inflate their life rafts and paddle ashore. Parachute training, all in a day's work for this country's future space flyers. There are billions of stars in the universe. We can see some of these with Earth-based telescopes, but not completely, because the atmosphere distorts images seen through telescopes and filters out a major portion of the infrareds, ultraviolets, X-ray, and gamma rays. It is these invisible radiations that could tell astronomers how stars are created and give clues to the origin of the universe. This is the Orbiting Astronomical Observatory, OAO, shown here in the clean room at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, Maryland. It will soon be launched 500 miles out in space to take a close-up look at the stars, views never before seen by man. The more than 2-ton OAO spacecraft is this country's heaviest unmanned satellite. It will carry 9 telescopes, 5 in one end, 4 in the other. OAO will transmit its stored observations in numerical form rather than as pictures. Computers on the ground then process the data for use by astronomers. The OAO is a precise optical package, so steady it can fix on an object the size of a golf ball 100 miles away. One of the unique tasks on this first flight will be to map the entire sky by measuring ultraviolet light. If the Orbiting Astronomical Observatory is successful in its mission, astronomers will have a powerful new tool for studying how matter and energy interact to generate the elements, the stars, and the galaxies, and better understand the origin of the universe.
This has been an Aeronautics and Space Report presented by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.